Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Christine Irwin, and this month, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we're doing a great campaign with Voices of Hope called Coffee and Consent. And we are just having some brief 5-minute conversations about consent and just wanted to really get some knowledge from individuals on what they feel consent is. And we're also going to talk about a couple of different topics as well. So today I have Caitlin French with me, and she is a University of Pitt student. She's a senior. She'll be graduating this April, and she has actually helped me with the Consent Coaster campaign that we run. She helped me a lot last year, and she's been a great advocate for Voices of Hope. Caitlin, say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so I am Kate. I'm finishing up my final year at Pitt. I was interested in helping with sexual assault since my sophomore year, so 2 years ago. And ever since then, I have been helping those who are on campus just find some extra resources, and especially with the poster campaign, which I was able to help you with after getting in touch with you after you spoke at one of the Pitt events. So it has been great to get involved, especially because it's very relevant in the world today, especially with college and college campuses and everything like at this age.
Great. Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you for being part of this. I really appreciate it too. So, all right. So we're going to start off with the same question with every interview. And what I want to know first is what is consent? Now, I know there's a direct definition of it, but what is consent to you?
Sure. Consent is just a mutual agreement to go forth and doing something. Specifically in relationships, it's taking that next step in a more sexual way. It's even on a basic level. It's just asking someone if something's okay for them to do something involving you. It's very basic, but at the same time, it's very complicated. But I think each definition includes the willingness and like wanting to know the acceptance that it is okay to continue and go forth and do something that the other person might not be okay with.
Sure.
To just establish that continuing is a mutual agreement.
Yes, definitely. No, I think you're 100% right. It is that mutual agreement, and it's knowing, that you both agree to, whatever you're going to do, so no, I think that's a great way to look at it. When do you feel consent should be taught to individuals?
That's a very hard question. I work with high school students in Pittsburgh, and predominantly senior students. And we actually went through, on our own, we went and taught them about like different sexual practices. And the consent never came up with what they've heard about like sex, and like it was mostly about like using condoms and birth control, everything about that. But when do we actually learn consent? We could easily say that we learn consent at a young age, but at the same time, it's not. You see little boys and girls kissing each other like a little boy kisses a girl, and everyone thinks it's so cute, but at what point is that not cute?
Yes.
And at what point is that inappropriate? I don't think that we actually learn consent. I think that it's just a general idea that everyone knows of. Like in the back of your head, you know what consent is, but you never really sit down to talk about what consent is until it's almost too late.
Sure.
And you question it. But I think just at a young age, you learn it's about basically respect. When you learn respect, and there's always there's the golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated, that we know, but I would say that's the extent of consent that we learn, even though it's not quite consent that I would hope everyone would learn, everyone would know.
Sure.
I really don't think that there's a certain time that people sit down and say, this is what consent is, this is what consent is not.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of survivors and they don't tell their story for months after because they don't know where the line is. And I think that that's another issue as well.
Kate, I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, obviously you've seen me speak, you've worked with me on different things, and I couldn't agree with you more that there is such a gray area. It's not black and white, and it's where do you determine that and how do you educate upon that? I know me having a 2.5-year-old boy and a 5-month-old girl, you know, I'm debating in my own head is when do I start teaching that? And like you said, it starts with respect. You know, right now, you know, we're teaching our son different things about respect especially even when it comes to, you know, his own body or our, you know, my body or my husband's body or whatever. But I think there's a certain age we do learn about respect and how easily respect, I think, goes into consent is really what it comes down to. No, some great points there. Thank you so much for sharing that. So with that being said, if someone came to you and told you that they've been victimized in any way, what would you do?
The first thing I would do was I would make sure that they are safe, that they're in an environment that they feel comfortable talking about it, and let them know that I see them. I think that's a common misconception is we take victims of sexual assault and we kind of look past them and think about what they could have done, what they didn't do. But I think the first thing I would do is make sure that they know that I see them for who they are. I see them for what they've been through and that I'm there to listen to them. Whatever that I could help them with, I would. And I would take them for what it is, because I think the hard thing with survivors is they feel that they're not believed or that people like are always just second guessing them. And I think to know that they're not being second guessed, that is that is something that is a calming factor for them. So that is what specifically I would say. It's very different case by case. If it was a friend, I would just want the best for them. I mean, that would be with anyone, but I would really go like lengths to get them to where they would feel comfortable and where they feel safe.
Sure.
For them.
Cool. All right. Very good. And so our final question for our Coffee and Consent chat is, one of Voices of Hope's campaigns is be a voice. How can you be a voice for those that feel they are silenced?
Sure. I think just standing up for them in every chance that I have, and just continue to push for rights for survivors and just for them to feel that if they can't tell their story, that there are people that are willing to tell it for them, not for them, but on their behalf, and just to continue to support them in whatever they're going through. I think just being there and being able to continuously work for them and push even if they don't feel comfortable to work with them.
Okay, perfect. Well, Caitlin, that is all the questions I have for you today. So thank you so much for being part of our Coffee and Consent. We really appreciate it. And so can watch for this. I'll let you know when it goes up and we'll be good to go. And for everybody out there, I'm going to stop the recording so that I can talk to Caitlin now. And we will catch up again on our next Coffee and Consent. Thanks, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, I don't want to end the meeting. Hold on.